you did everything right. You both went to college, you both got great jobs, and you both bring home a massive paycheck. So why are you still stressed about money? Why does it feel like you are running a race you can't win? Here is the secret that is keeping you broke. 2 incomes is the biggest trap of the modern world. Everyone tells you that doubling up is the key to getting rich. But for most of you, that second paycheck isn't buying you freedom. It's just buying you a more expensive cage. You aren't building wealth. You are just one layoff away from losing everything. In this video, I'm going to stop the lies. I'm going to show you why $200,000 feels like $50,000, why your safety net is actually a ticking time bomb, and the radical math you need to start actually keeping the money you earn. If you were tired of being high income poor, don't move. We are fixing this right now. Let's stop blaming the coffee. If you feel broke despite having 2 paychecks, it is not because you bought a latte or a Netflix subscription. That is the biggest lie in personal finance. Financial gurus love to talk about avocado toast because it is easy to blame you for your choices. But the math tells a different story. Your struggle isn't about the little things you want. It is about the big things you need. Most people think they are failing at budgeting. In reality, they are trapped by a broken system. Back in the 1970s, a single income family lived a very different life. They spent about 50% of their money on must-haves. This included the mortgage, the car, and groceries. The other 50% was for wants or savings. If the car broke down, they had a massive cushion. If the breadwinner lost their job, the other parent could start working to save the day. They had a built-in safety net. They had breathing room. Today, the world is upside down. Most dual-income couples spend nearly 75% of their money just to keep the lights on. You aren't blowing money on vacations. You are spending it on a house in a safe school district. You are spending it on 2 car payments because you both have to commute. You are spending it on childcare that costs as much as a second mortgage. You have doubled the income, but you have tripled the fixed costs. You are left with a tiny 95% margin for everything else. One small emergency wipes you out because there is no room left to move. This leads to the most dangerous myth of all, the double income safety myth. You think having 2 earners makes you twice as safe. It actually makes you twice as vulnerable. Why? Because your lifestyle is built on both checks. In the old days, a family had 1 engine. If it failed, they had a backup. Today, you are flying a plane with 2 engines, but you need both of them just to stay in the air. If either of you gets laid off, gets sick, or needs to stay home with a child, the plane crashes. You aren't twice as safe. You are living with twice the risk and 0 backup plan. You probably think that adding a second salary to your home means you have twice as much money to spend. But if you look at the numbers, that second paycheck is often a ghost. It looks big on paper, but it disappears before it ever hits your bank account. This is the second income siphon, and it is the reason why high-earning couples still feel poor. By the time you pay for the things you need just to go to work, that second income has been cut in half. First, let us talk about the tax man. When you are a dual-income couple, your combined income often pushes you into a much higher tax bracket. In 2016, the government takes a bigger bite out of every dollar the second person earns. You aren't just paying more in taxes, you are paying a higher percentage. Then you have to add in Social Security and Medicare taxes for both people. You are working twice as hard, but the government is taking a bigger slice of the pie than they would if only one person worked. Next, look at the cost of your time. This is what I call the convenience tax. When both parents work 40 hours a week, no one has the energy to cook, clean, or run errands. You end up paying for expensive takeout because you are too tired to stand in front of a stove. You pay for grocery delivery, professional house cleaning, and dry cleaning for your work clothes. You are trading your hard-earned money just to buy back the time you lost by working. You are paying a premium for a life that feels like it's on autopilot. Finally, there is the child care killer. For many families in 2026, the cost of daycare or a nanny for 2 kids can easily top $30,000 a year. When you subtract taxes, gas for the second car, work clothes, and childcare from that second salary, you might realize you are only making a few dollars an hour. You are sacrificing your time with your children and dealing with massive stress for a very small net gain. You aren't building wealth, you are just funding the cost of having a career. Now we need to look at why your life feels so much more fragile than your parents' life did. Most people assume that having 2 salaries means you have a backup plan. In reality, you have lost your hidden safety net. In the 1970s, if the main breadwinner lost their job, the family had a secret weapon, the stay-at-home parent. That person could immediately go out and find a job to keep the family afloat. Today, that safety valve is gone. Both of you are already working at 100% capacity. There's no one left to go to work. because you are both already there. This creates what I call the financial vortex. As a high-earning couple in 2016, your life is incredibly complex. You don't just have a mortgage. You have a mortgage in the right neighborhood, so your kids can go to the right school. To keep those high-paying jobs, you need 2 reliable, late-model cars. You have professional dues, higher insurance premiums, and perhaps even private school tuition. These aren't things you can just quit tomorrow. They are structural costs. You are locked into a high-overhead life that demands every single cent of both paychecks just to function. The concern here is volatility. In a single-income home, you only have one person who could get laid off or get sick. In a dual-income home, you have double the chances of a life-changing crisis. If either one of you faces a health issue or a job loss, the whole house of cards collapses. Because your fixed costs, the things you must pay, are so high, you can't survive on just one of your salaries. You are essentially flying a twin-engine plane that requires both engines to stay level. If one quits, you aren't just flying slower, you are going down. This is the work-rich, time-poor paradox. You are earning more money than ever before, yet you have less freedom than a family making half as much with lower fixed costs. You are trapped in a cycle of earning to pay for the privilege of earning. You feel the pressure every day because you know deep down that you are only one bad HR meeting away from a total financial disaster. You aren't building a foundation, you are balancing on a tightrope, and the wind is starting to pick up. It is time to stop playing a game you cannot win and start changing the rules. If you want to stop feeling high-income poor, you have to make a radical choice. The most powerful move you can make is the single income standard. This means you decide right now to build your entire life, your mortgage, your car payments, and your groceries based on only one of your salaries. You pick the lower salary and make that your live-on budget. Everything from the second paycheck goes toward one of 3 things: paying off debt, building an emergency fund, or investing for the future. This sounds impossible, but it is the only way to buy back your freedom. When you don't need the second income to pay the rent, the power dynamic in your life changes. If one of you gets a toxic boss, you can quit. If one of you gets sick, the house isn't at risk. You aren't just saving money, you are buying walkaway power. Most couples use their raises to buy a bigger house or a faster car. You are going to use your raises to buy a smaller risk profile. You are going to shrink your must-have costs until they fit inside a single paycheck. Next, you need to rethink your safety net. Most financial experts say you need 3 months of savings. For a dual-income couple in 2026, that is a trap. Because your life is more complex, you need aggressive liquidity. You should aim for a 12-month emergency fund. Why? Because high-paying jobs often take longer to replace. If you have a full year of cash sitting in the bank, the double risk myth disappears. You aren't balanced on a tightrope anymore. You are walking on a wide, sturdy bridge. Finally, you must perform a status audit. Look at your life and ask, am I buying this because I need it, or because I am trying to look like a successful dual-income couple? Maybe you don't need the luxury SUV with the $800 monthly payment. Maybe you don't need the house in the neighborhood that requires a massive mortgage just for the zip code. When you stop trying to look rich, you actually start becoming rich. You are trading the appearance of wealth for the reality of peace. We have spent this entire video looking at the math, the myths, and the traps. But at the end of the day, this isn't just about spreadsheets or bank statements. It is about your life. It is about the fact that you and your partner are working harder than ever, yet you feel like you are running in place. If you feel exhausted, it's not because you are lazy. It is because you are carrying the weight of a lifestyle that was designed to consume everything you earn. A high salary is just a bigger cage if you have no margin. It doesn't matter if you make $100,000 or $500,000. If every dollar is already spoken for before it hits your account, you aren't a high earner. You are a high-level servant to your own debt. You are trading the best years of your life for stuff that makes you feel more stressed, not more free. The American dream shouldn't feel like a nightmare of what-ifs and not-enoughs. The good news is that you can unlock the door to that cage whenever you want. It starts by admitting that the way we've been told to live, 2 incomes, high debt, and 0 backup, is a recipe for disaster. You have to be willing to look different than your neighbors. You have to be okay with driving the older car, or living in the smaller house, if it means you can sleep through the night. Real wealth isn't about what you spend, it is about what you keep, and the peace of mind that comes with it. Are you ready to stop working for your lifestyle, and start making your lifestyle work for you? It won't be easy to downsize your expectations, but I promise you, the view from a solid financial foundation is much better than the view from a tightrope. Take a look at your fixed costs tonight. Pick one big must-have and find a way to turn it into a don't need. That is the first step toward a life where two incomes actually make you rich instead of just making you busy. Stop being high income poor and start building a life that doesn't depend on two engines just to stay in the air. If you are ready to break out of the dual income trap and actually keep the money you earn, hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.